So I'm going to give you some tips to save at the grocery store right now. To start, get in the habit of doing your groceries bright and early. Grocery stores love to do a blowout when it's bright and early.
Freezing discounted meats and bread as they'll last a lot longer. Taking
month. I'm gonna go through my pantry and make a meal plan based off of what I already have.
Eye level is buy level. Always expensive items are placed at the eye level. As an example, this sunflower oil is priced at 18 dirhams. Same oil is available one row below at 15 dirhams.
So I just checked my budget and discovered that I've spent over $1,000 in groceries this month so far. So because of this, I'm making 3 changes for next month. I'm gonna go through my pantry and make a meal plan based off of what I already have. I'm gonna drive just 5 minutes further and go to Aldi. And I'm gonna add $200 to my grocery budget because food is just more expensive right now. And follow along because I think I'm gonna document some of this.
We asked Toronto what their tips for saving on groceries are, and here are a few that could save you some money. Freezing discounted meats and bread as they'll last a lot longer. Taking Loblaws, Metro, and Sobeys completely off the list of places to shop. One person said they buy in bulk at Costco and split it between a couple of neighbors. And finally, buying the no-name brands because they're just as good as the expensive brands.
Hey friends, so I promised you some grocery tips in the new year. How can we save money on groceries? This is one tip that I religiously use each and every grocery trip that I make for my family. I have a family of 4, so typically I try and go every 2 weeks grocery shopping. And one thing that I do before I head to register is once I'm done shopping, I check everything in my cart, go through all the items. Lots of times we throw in impulse items or things that we don't need, whether it was something from the bakery or extra snacks for the kids or juices, juice boxes, things like that we can eliminate. Take those out, anywhere from $5, $10 to $15 out of your basket. And with prices so high, that's really easy to do. That is gonna save you hundreds on your grocery budget. Let me tell you, it's a lifesaver. It's a game changer in grocery shopping. Be sure, guys, to stick with me and follow for more tips and tricks.
So I'm walking around Costco here and I'm noticing these prices. For example, these Madras lentils.
That guy is not kidding. What are we supposed to do with like 75% inflation? This is what I'm doing. I'm not buying a lot of those things that come in packages. I'm buying whole foods like veggies and beans and greens. That stuff is not having the same amount of inflation like packaged foods are. The other thing I'm doing is making sure I keep my money, my savings, in a high yield interest account and using those inflation hedges like I-series bonds so that my money that's sitting there is not getting eaten away.
An Amish store down the road from my husband's work had 40-pound boxes of chicken breast and chicken tenders on sale for $38. That's under $1 a pound, and I don't know if you guys have seen the price of chicken in stores lately, but that price is unheard of here. I can drive about half an hour from my house and end up paying $3.29 a pound for chicken breast, which I refuse because that is way too expensive in my opinion. And in my small town, the chicken is even more expensive. So when I find deals like this, I have to snatch them up and do a little bit of work to vacuum seal them and separate them for the freezer. This is another example of how buying in bulk and then separating into smaller portions at home helps to stretch your grocery budget further.
Let me show you how to save money on grocery shopping. The staple food are bread, eggs, and milk. Those items are placed by the end of the supermarket to make sure that you're gonna walk more and do more impulse buying. Eye level is buy level. Always expensive items are placed at the eye level. As an example, this sunflower oil is priced at 18 dirhams. Same oil is available one row below at 15 dirhams. Human mind connects red with urgency, and that's why you will find all the offers being put in the red color. In supermarkets, there are no clocks and also no daylight. That will not allow you to be able to track time, which is gonna make you spend more time and obviously spend more money.
Inflation at the grocery store, that's like a serious, like global, I can't get these open, global issue right now. So I'm going to give you some tips to save at the grocery store right now. To start, get in the habit of doing your groceries bright and early. Grocery stores love to do a blowout when it's bright and early. Oh, and the best time to get markdowns on stuff, it's right after like a day that they were closed. Like you go after Christmas Day, lots of 50% off. Or the night before they're closing for the day, because they have to clear out this food. If you live in Ontario, buy bagged milk. It's the cheapest way to buy milk. Sorry, should shoot first. And you know inflation is hitting packaged goods the most, right? Which totally makes sense. Packaged products are promoted to people who don't have disposable income for piles of food. And it's marketed as like the cheapest, most affordable way to eat. But it really isn't, so cut out the processed foods right now. And even like basic things, like canned chickpeas, unnecessary. Buy them dry. Same with any beans. Buy dried beans. You put them in a bowl overnight and you let them soak and they're good to go. Same with things like hummus, tzatziki, and stuff like that. Dips cost pennies to make and they're also so much better. Oh, and crackers and all of that, those are really expensive now. So a good thing to do is just get bread and make your own. Get a baguette, put it into tiny little things, olive oil, some rosemary, throw them in the oven. They look bougie and it's great. Like, do I want homemade focaccia crisps or like Nona May little bullshit cracker? Obviously I want focaccia crisps.
Can we talk about how expensive groceries are getting? Because I've been watching the TikToks where they're like taking you in the grocery store and like doing a shop with me video, and they're so satisfying to watch, but then they show their receipt at the end of the video and it's like $300, $400 for a week of groceries, and I'm just like, what? It's just absolutely insane to me how food can cost that much, and honestly really sad because nobody should have to struggle that much to buy food for their family. So I decided to share the tips and tricks that I've personally learned that can seriously help you cut your grocery budget down. Like, you'd honestly be surprised how much you can cut it down. And you might be thinking, duh, you're a couponer, you obviously coupon for your groceries. Nope. You'd be wrong there. I know it's probably surprising, but honestly, we don't really get very many coupons or deals for food like we do household and personal care items. But I'm still able to feed my family of 5 for about $100 a week. Here are my top 5 tips. Number 1 is going to be to coupon for your household and personal care items. If you are paying full price for these things, it is absolutely going to kill your grocery budget when you have to add expensive detergent and toilet paper to your weekly list. That's money that you could be spending on actual food. So coupon for those items, get them for free or dirt cheap, and essentially remove them from your weekly list. Number 2, meal plan, meal plan, meal plan. You have to sit down and write out a list of the dinners you're going to make that week. You just have to. And create a specific budget for each dinner. I personally like to stick to between $7 to $10 per dinner. I only plan 5 dinners a week because one of the nights we do like to eat out, and then the other night is like a leftover or a fend for yourself night. So I know if I'm spending a max of $10 per dinner for 5 nights a week, that's $50 a week for dinners. Tip number 3 is don't be afraid of eating leftovers. I personally like to plan leftovers for lunch. That way I don't have to buy lunch items, and lunch is really easy. I don't have to cook. So out of my $100 budget, I'm spending 50 of it for dinners, and then the other 50 can go towards basically just breakfast, snacks, and drinks. Tip number 4, when you are planning your meals, don't just write out a list of dinners that sound good. Shop from your pantry first. See what you already have that you could use to make other meals. Also, try to come up with meals that have common ingredients. So if I have to buy a tub of sour cream for taco night, but I'm not going to use the whole tub, I need to plan another meal to use the rest of that sour cream up. This is just going to minimize the number of ingredients that you have to add to your shopping list. Tip number 5, create a list before you go to the store and make sure you write the prices of the items before you go to the store. Meal planning and budgeting your grocery list can be very strategic, so there are times when you go over the budget and you have to kind of rework things. You don't want to do that when you're at the store and you have to put items back. Know what you're going to spend before you go to the store, or place your order online for pickup. This can also be helpful because then you're not actually going in the store, so you're not going to be tempted to buy things you don't need.
Groceries are getting pricier and pricier, so I'm Vivian, your rich BFF, and your favorite Wall Street girlie who's got some quick tips on how to keep your food budget manageable. 1. Stop shopping in stores. Opt for curbside pickup. Grocery stores are deliberately laid out to appeal to the worst part of your decision making, and I can't tell you the number of times I've grabbed an extra candy bar just because it was right at checkout. Places like Target, Walmart, Kroger, and Safeway all offer this service for free. 2. Use a cashback app like Ibotta to get a little something back on all of your grocery trips. I love Ibotta because you can double dip and still use your credit card for points and rewards there too. You can use my code to sign up if you'd like a $10 bonus, but I'd actually rather you use a friend so you can both get $10. Last, check unit prices. With inflation roaring, companies are using all different types of tricks to make it seem like you're getting a good deal. But you know to look at the part of the sticker that shows the price per ounce or gram or pound, because that'll give you an easy apples to apples way to compare brands and deals. Hope this helps.
Figuring out how much you should be spending on groceries is sometimes the hardest part, and I recently discovered that USDA has a really great budgeting tool that I would love to share with you. Whether you're starting life on your own or you're just trying to get a better handle on your everyday finances, I hope this information is helpful. Each month, USDA publishes a thrifty food plan which is available for free on their website.
This will allow you to calculate food costs based on your own unique household size and age groups. I'll use my own household as an example. I am 30 and Michael is 31, so I'll be using the male age 20 to 50, which is $69.70 per week, and the female age 20 to 50, which is $55.70 per week. Now, the important part is some of the subtext below, which indicates that these numbers are based on a household of 4 and recommends adjustments based on your family size. It recommends increasing this by 10% for a 2-person household. The reason for this is that smaller packages typically cost more than their bulk counterparts, so smaller households generally pay more per person than larger households. So again, using my own example, I would take the $69.70 plus $55.70, which is $125.40, and then multiply that by 1.1, which would mean that for my individual household, USDA recommends a weekly grocery budget of $137 per week, which is about $600 a month when annualized. And this may seem like a lot, but it is a national average, and for some people their food cost is higher depending on where they live. I do think it also takes into consideration factors like dietary restrictions that may increase overall food costs. And if you wanted to break this down even further, they even have a pie chart that recommends approximately how your grocery budget should be spent. Now, I do recognize that a lot of times the amount of money that an individual has to spend on groceries is typically just whatever is left over after accounting for their bills and expenses. And I'm no stranger to this because I have also done some budget grocery weeks myself. So I do understand that this isn't really feasible for everybody, but I do hope that it provides a starting point or an idea for those who need it.
I shop late. I look for the best deals are on sale. Freeze them, especially the meats. About 8:30 Friday night. Best deals. 30% off stickers. 4.5 kilos of extra beef in my extra lean ground sirloin, Italian sausages, 2 whole chickens. I may come into the grocery store 2 or 3 times a week for those best before dates or the expiry dates. I make sure to come back on those days. Usually put those 30% off stickers. I've got a huge haul. Inflation prices are high. There's still a way to save money when you can be a savvy shopper. A huge savings tonight. This is massive. Massive savings on meat. Basically, I got all my meat 30% off with the exception of fish. I'll be back in a few days when they throw a few stickers on those. Inflation is so high, you've got to do your best to try and save money where you can. Boom. Mention it's freaking cold, and I hate the cold, and I hate the snow.
Canned vegetables and fruits, 2 years past their best before date.
2 years?
2 years.
Okay. That's just not a week. Like, that is, why don't they just make it like a year later and save on the, wow.
Just wait. Honey will last forever. Even after you open it.
Okay, but they still put a best before date on the honey, no?
Yes, they do.
Okay, what else?
Maple syrup, 2 years unopened. Once you open it, you put it in your fridge, but 2 years past best before date. And then you have peanut butter, 2 years. Once again. And then my 2 personal faves.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate.
5 years?
5 years.
Okay,
good. 5 years. I love dark chocolate. Good to know.
The other personal fave?
The canned tuna.
Okay.
But 5 years.
Hey guys, with inflation going on, I've been wondering if I can get my produce cheaper. So get ready for a food price showdown. We're talking about bananas, mandarins, apples at the big supermarket, Aldi, Asian supermarket and city market. For bananas, Coles is so expensive, Aldi is okay, Asian supermarket is okay as well, and Sydney markets is pretty cheap at $3 a kilo. Can you believe that? Jumping straight to mandarins, Aldi and Coles tie at $2.50 a kilo. Asian supermarket is so expensive, but Sydney market sweeps in at $2.20 a kilo. For apples, Coles again is so expensive, Asian supermarket as well, but Aldi is quite cheap at $4.50 a kilo. And hold on to your hats, City market is so cheap at just $12 a box. That's just $2.50 a kilo. So the moral of the story, skip the big supermarkets and head to the Sydney market, Aldi or the Asian supermarket. You can save up to 30% on your produce.
Follow for more money saving tips.
This is a PSA for you. When you're grocery shopping, pay attention to what the tag says, like really read it, so that you don't get burned by this. So I know grocery stores love to do buy more, get more, better pricing sales, but this is not really a better price. So if you take a look, if I buy 4 or more, I'm going to get the sale price of $2.50 each. But if I buy 1, it would have been $2.19. Having worked in a grocery store as my first job, it's something I always pay attention to, but I'm sure a lot of people would not have even noticed this. So I wanted to share so that you're not getting ripped off at your